Hello and welcome to the Mal and Johnny Show. I popped to the doctor's last week and came away with quite a lot of different information. So I thought I'd go to the source of a man who knows how to look after his body. 80 years old, Johnny, that's right, isn't it?
I am 80 years old, yes. I'll be 81 next January. I don't believe it.
And still swimming, still tap dancing. You've just done a show, just done
cycling, swimming, everything.
Okay. So this is the way it went, Johnny, right? So I hadn't been to the doctor for a little bit. And I've had a bad knee. I'm not one to talk about myself much. But anyway, I had an operation on my knee earlier this year. My meniscus went.
Right.
Do you know what your meniscus is? Is
it the sinew between the kneecap and whatever it is?
Yeah, around by there, and it was a classic rip, to be honest. I think it's called a parrot's beak or something. Anyway, they go in there and they cut it off, just a bit that's flapping.
Is that what they call an arthroscopy? Because I've had one on my left knee.
That's right. It's an arthroscopy. Well done.
There we are.
Great. I knew I came to the right place. You come to the right place.
Dr. John knows it all.
Dr. Johnny. Okay. So, and the thing is, they said 6 weeks and you should be back to normal. Well, after 6 weeks, the original pain wasn't anymore, but I had a different pain, which means I'm struggling. You know, Johnny, I'm not one to talk about it myself. But I'm struggling a bit. I can't run. Walking a bit. So I wanted to have a chat with about that and a couple of different bits and bobs, sleeping and all that. And this is what he said to me. He said, Mal, as you approach the last decade of your life, you've got to start putting the work in. I'm thinking, did he just say the last decade or did he say the last decades? I'm sure he said decades. I'm thinking, what's he saying?
I can have a couple more, I think.
Well, I'm not done yet, Johnny.
No, you're still making records.
I kept half a dozen before the end of the year. So this is a couple of things that he suggested, and I wanted to get your advice on them. What do you get? Your advice?
Go on then.
Okay. So he said walking. He said if you're walking downhill with a bad knee, he said walk quite softly, but coming back up the hill, march up the hill so you get out of breath. What do you think of that?
I think you've got to do that. I mean, I find that because I've had the arthroscopy, same as you, because I've tap danced all my life and obviously done something to my cartilages or whatever, and they've cleaned them up. But there's also a bit of arthritis in there. See, if you get older, you get a bit. Yeah. But I'm great going uphill.
Yes.
Downhill's not quite as good.
Yeah.
But I have an injection. I have a steroid injection about every 6 months, and it just makes it feel great.
Fantastic.
But that's not the point. You've got to keep your muscles going, which keeps the knees in place. So anything like walking, cycling, I don't really advertise, running. I think running is bad news because it's pounded on your knees. Yeah. I'm a good one to talk. I'm playing tap dance for 50 years, which is just as bad.
Well, there was something on the the boys who go fly fishing and away. Do you know those two? Have you seen gone fishing?
Yeah, what's that? Yeah.
Well, they were saying about running, and their knees have gone as well. They were saying like the pressure when you're running is like 15 times your weight on your knee joints, whereas if you're walking, it's hardly any extra pressure your weight. So if say you were a man of, I'll say 10 stone. I'm not. Say I was 10 stone, but if it was 15 times 10 stone, that's like 150 stone down on your knees. Well, no wonder they've taken.
It's not good, is it? What have you tried cycling?
No, I haven't. I do have a bike, but it's behind the shed.
Because cycling is fantastic.
Is it?
Because it's great exercise, and you can really get the old breath going up hills and that. Yeah. And I don't know what it is about. I go out on my bike all the time. I cycled to Barry yesterday. Mind you, I had a puncture on the way back. I had to call my daughter to pick me up. But cycling is great for the knees and for all the muscles, and you're not putting any pressure on. You're not jarring it. See what I mean?
Yeah. So you do cycling. You do swimming. Yeah. Are you still swimming, or have you stopped now?
Well, I haven't swum for about 2 weeks. Okay. The last time I went in was 2 weeks ago. Okay. The sea's getting a bit colder. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be brave enough to do the January bit. I don't think I like my comfort sea, Mal. I love swimming in the sea, don't get me wrong. No. But it's coming out into the freezing cold I don't fancy.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of ladies who do it in Langland, and they're called the Blue Tits. That's the name of their...
There's a bunch in Barry as well. They're called the Blue Tits as well. I wonder why.
Must like the birds. Okay, so that's...
But girls, I don't know what it is about girls. They got more... I don't know what it is. More meat on their bones. I don't want to be rude here.
What are you trying to say, Johnny? What do you... Johnny, we gotta be...
I'm only 11 stone 6. I don't know what do you weigh?
No, 11 stone 6.
I did my BMI the other day. I said I was in the middle, so I'm fine.
Oh yeah, no, well, the thing is, since my knees
Are
got
you taller than me though? I'm only 5'8".
Yeah, I found that my knee, when I had my knee go wrong, one of the outcomes was I got a bigger belly. But wait,
because you couldn't
run because I was if I was like feeling a little bit lethargic, a little bit of weighty or lardy, a bit of a lardy lad, I thought, all right, I've got to go running now, for the next month and feel a bit better. But I can't do it. And I did a bit of walking in the summer along the beach. Got up really early most morning, and to be honest, in the summer it was easy, Johnny, because it was lovely.
And you've got to push yourself so you get out of breath.
Out of breath. So okay. So
otherwise, you're not doing any good, are you?
So you're saying walking uphill like you're marching. You agree with the doctor on that? You'd say swim. You'd say a bit of swimming.
Swimming as much as you can if you can do it. I mean, I'm going to do it in the swimming pool in the winter. I'll keep swimming.
Yeah,
because that's a good all-round exercise. Every muscle in your body you're using it, aren't you?
Yeah, cycling.
Your abdomen. But you know what happens as you get older?
What?
Your testosterone level goes down.
You speak for yourself.
Yeah, and you see these blokes, they start going down to the age of 35, so you got nothing against that. Hey, so, and you see these blokes who got pot bellies and knobbly knees.
Yeah.
That's a sure sign that their testosterone's gone down the neck.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so they get little pot bellies, they're not fat, but they got little. So you've got to keep exercising to keep the testosterone going.
Right, and what exercises do you suggest for testosterone?
Well, anything. Weights, running.
Wait, okay, right. Now you've come to it. You've come to the point, Johnny. So he said, now my doctor, naming no names, my doctor, he said to me, he said, Mal, he said, what about weights? And I said, what about weights? And he said, you need to start working with weights. And they've done some new, he said, they're learning all the time. We've only been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and they're just finding this out, that with weights, you should really stress yourself so that the last bit of weights that you do, you're struggling to do it. And that's the sort of weight exercises you should be doing. Do you do weights?
I don't do weights, no. I haven't got any weights, and I've never been into it. I do press ups, mine.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to do karate years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I used to do Shotokan, and we used to have to do press ups on our knuckles.
Oh my gosh. Right.
Because you got to make the fists strong, you see, and hardened. So so if you can, that's just as good as weights, isn't it? Because you're pushing your whole body weight up and down.
Yeah. And you're keeping all the rest of it nice and sturdy.
Yeah, and it's good for the abs. Got to keep your abs in, Yeah. So I used to do that. I haven't done many push-ups lately because I've been doing so much running about, but I must get back to it now the winter's coming.
And a lot of it is about getting it into some sort of routine, isn't it? So you do it. So
we get lazy. See, we get lazy with that. I won't bother to have a cup of tea.
Yeah. So what I've done now, I've got some dumbbells, right?
All right, okay.
5 kilograms each. So that's how many bags of sugar is that? Is that 10 bags of sugar? 5 kilograms? No.
A kilogram's just over £1.5 and a half, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, it's quite a few bags of sugar. It's quite heavy. So what I've done, I put them in the bathroom. So every time I go into the bathroom, for whatever reason, Johnny,
you do a bit of.
I do a bit of that, and I do a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
And now the funny thing was, I started doing it last week, and then on the weekend, my arms are shaking. I was thinking, am I going down with something, Johnny? What I realised was they were aching. They were aching from doing the weights.
From doing your weights.
I couldn't control. I was like, what's the matter with me? And, of course.
See, the thing with cycling, right? If you're cycling and you're pulling on your handlebars going uphill, it's like using weights, isn't it? Because you're pulling.
Yeah, pulling. Yeah. That's good.
See?
Yeah.
See, I don't like gymnasiums. I hate gymnasiums. I don't like to be enclosed. That's why I like swimming in the sea. I don't really like swimming pools. So I think if I'm cycling and I walk every day as well. I walk right around the village every morning, get my paper, but I do it fast.
Okay.
And then I'll cycle 10 miles or something. So I feel like I'm still doing enough, you know what I mean, at my tender age to keep myself going.
He cycles, he walks, he tap dances, he swims.
Yeah. And I'm so sick.
Level 6. Maybe
but see, you can't lose. You get people with I'm not going to say fat. You can't say it anymore. Large people, they can be very fit and they can run and they still can't lose weight because it's the intake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Intake against output. So if you're not using the calories, that you're putting in your body, you're not going to lose weight.
Yeah. And so the last one that I was going to do is because of my knee. Did I mention I had a bad knee, Johnny? I might have mentioned it in passing.
Have you tried having an injection in it?
I haven't had an injection, no.
You should go to the doctor and get a cortisone jab, and you'll think you're on heaven. You can. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic. So so building up the muscle around the knees. So I haven't been cycling, but I was thinking about getting ankle weights. So
ankle weights.
You put your weights on your ankle.
Yeah, and then you lift your legs up and down.
Yeah,
that's you. But you got to keep your legs stiff.
All right. Okay.
Right, don't bend the knee, stiff, and say laying down. I do it when I'm in the bath. If you're laying flat, just raise your leg up and keep it there, and flex your foot back.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, see, so that's your leg. Okay.
Yeah.
And you push your leg up, and you really flex that. And if you flex that, you can feel the muscles around the top of your knee.
Yeah.
Pull in, and that keeps the kneecap in place. I was told that by the physio, and it does it good.
So you do that when you're in the bath?
Yeah, I do it in the bath. I'm there anyway, so I may as well do this.
I just had this terrible image, Johnny.
I'm in the bath.
You're in the bath, lifting your leg up. I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep again. So yeah, I mean, so the other thing I suppose that stuck with me, whether it is the last decade of my life or whatever, or things, he said, you've got to put the work in, Mal. He said, from here on in, you can't take it for granted. Because when you're a kid, you run around, you play football all day, you're in the park.
That's right.
You run to school.
I think it also makes a big difference if you've always been a physical kid. I used to run everywhere as a kid. Yeah. I used to run to school, and I couldn't understand the kids walking. I said, what are you walking for? So what you running for? I said, no, I just run. I used to run to school.
Yeah.
Not in a race. I couldn't be bothered just walking. So I think I've always been very, very active.
Yeah.
And I think you've been pretty active as well.
Not too bad, Johnny. Not too bad. I mean, obviously not like Johnny Tudor's class, but
But see, I've been lucky as well because my parents, I don't know, a lot of genetics there. Yeah. My mother was a dancer. Yeah, my father, who never put any weight on, but he was lazy. See, he'd say, "I say, you're going to come for a walk, Dad?" "No, I got a bone in my leg." He'd say some stupid answer, right? And my mother asked him to put a shelf up. "No, I can't. I'll hurt my hands. I'm a pianist. I can't do that," he said.
Oh, tell me about my hands, Johnny. Oh, Johnny. See that?
Arthritis?
No.
What's that we done?
It's this lump here now. Hold on.
Oh, that's what's that, a ganglion?
No, it's got a better name than that. I can't remember what it's called now. It's that tendon.
It's in you.
Goes through there's a sheath there and it's all clogging up. He said, "Can you still do that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're fine."
What's it called?
I can't remember what it's called now. It's got quite a posh name. But eventually,
I got a bit of arthritis in my fingers, my thumbs.
Oh, right.
I don't know what that's all about because I haven't been tap dancing on my thumbs, but I've been pulling on the handlebars.
Do you know what my kids used to say? They say, "Dad, if I do this, my arm hurts." And I said, "You know what? Don't do that."
That's right.
I was already sympathetic. It's coming back to haunt me now. I'm telling my kids, "I got a bad hand." I said, "Well, don't do that, Dad.
Don't do it."
All right. Well, thanks. And I've been speaking to Dr. Johnny Tudor.
People do. They ring me up because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac.
No.
So I always look stuff up. Yeah. Like the other day, I went for a test. I've been having a bit of trouble, stomach trouble. Yeah. I won't go into the graphics.
No, please don't.
Certain things I eat, I get rather loose. You know what I mean? So I thought, have I got something wrong with me? So they say you must check it out. Yeah. So I went and they checked me out, and I've just heard the result today. Everything's clear, nothing wrong with me. But you must keep on top of stuff like that because you never blink and know.
Never know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got to be fit and healthy, haven't you?
Fantastic. All right. Well, as I approach the last decade, I'm putting the work in under the tutelage.
Your last decade, it'll be as old as I am now, so you've got 2 decades.
I keep on saying my mum was 98 and my dad was 96. What's he talking about? I've only just started.
Oh, you got plenty of time. You got plenty
of time. All right. Yeah. Well, we've run out of time now.
We'll be doing records at 98.
So it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from you.
Cheerio. Bye.